I'm here at Grover Vineyards, the beautiful space around here. We just had a wonderful tasting and a winery visit, and now I'm just chatting with Karishma Grover, third generation of the Grover family in the great iconic Grover Vineyards. A little bit about the wines and where Grover Vineyards is going today. So Karishma, tell me, you've been here since 2008. What are the changes that you've brought about as the winemaker, and what do you hope to see in the future? Because we all know that the Indian wine industry is very young still, and there's a lot that can do. So tell me a little bit about it.
So the changes that I personally have brought about, I would say, are definitely more back-end stuff. So a lot of process-driven things, which are more hygiene-related, more like systems and setting up kind of related. But to me, I feel like when there's order, you generally tend to get better results. I agree. I know that there's a little bit about of chaos, but we get the chaos from vintage and from the season. So when things are structured and there's clarity, I think you tend to get a better result. What I would wish to see, and this is from the Indian wine industry in the next couple of years going forward, is for us to truly establish a reputation of being quality wine producers, specifically domestically, because I think it would be great to have Indians love Indian wine. That would be a big dream. Internationally, of course, for Grover to be recognized as a quality leader is always an ambition for us. But if you ask me about my hope for the Indian wine industry, that's what I would like.
Okay, so you've made some big changes in winemaking since you've been here, with the iconic La Reserve, with the VA, the Vijay Amritraj Reserve Red and White, which have also got a lot of awards and a lot of recognition, and is India's first celebrity wine. And of course your own special baby, which is the Insignia. So just tell me a little bit about these reserves and why you aimed for the top end of the spectrum as far as Indian wine is concerned.
Because I think that Indian wine, we have not hit the top end of the spectrum, to be honest, with Indian wine. I think we're middle, and what we think is the top right now, I hope 10 years from now you're going to be like, yeah guys, that was not the top end of the spectrum even close to. I believe very passionately about Indian wine. I think that we definitely have what it takes to make truly international quality wine. And so it's only natural to push the boundaries on the premium side, to see where you can go and what you can make. So for me, the idea here is to try to get the passion that started the project, the passion that ran through my grandfather, the passion that is still with my father and me, is really to make the really good quality Indian wine, is to redefine what quality Indian wine is. And so that's why we're constantly pushing in terms of reserves and collections, and trying to make sure that, I hope that next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, when you're talking to me, Insignia was my baby then, but we have a even more exciting baby coming up.
That sounds great, and I really am looking forward to that. So what are the disadvantages that we need to, or the hurdles, if you will, that we need to get over as an Indian wine industry to really look at something which is of an international standard? And I'm not talking about specifics, I'm talking about the industry as a whole.
There's a lot of, I think there is a couple of things which are important. I think that there are a lot of ways and paths and avenues that we can go down. So I think that there's no real restriction that we are necessarily doing it the right way. And there are other companies here who are also forging their path. I think one of the big things is for us to work together to educate the consumer. I think the biggest challenge for us is getting the consumer to understand an international quality of wine, and what that entails and what it tastes like. So trying to get international quality of wine accessible to people on a daily basis in India, that's our biggest challenge as far as that goes. Because only when I can sell La Reserve quality as my biggest bulk can I move towards exploring higher and higher qualities, which I know that the Indian grape is capable of giving us. So it's just a question of getting people on board and understanding what we're selling, and that what we're selling is of value, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But okay, 25 years have gone. We've tasted a little bit today, and we've seen the path that it has taken, which is absolutely amazing in terms of the quality and the growth. Next 25 years, what do you hope to see personally?
So I want to start on a positive. I did my undergraduate and a lot of studying in Napa. So I've spoken to a lot of winemakers in Napa who would be at the same position we are. But 10 years ago, because I've been in India 10 years now. And 10 years ago, it took them 30, 40 years for them to get their wine quality to where we were just 10 years later, 10 years, 15 years after we had started. So it's quite exciting to see that we've managed to learn from regions outside of India. So we're already, I think 25 years later, we're already as an industry in a place where many of the other new world industries were not there. In the next 25 years, what I hope happens is we get more and more quality wine out there. It's always exciting when somebody's doing something different. It's always intriguing when somebody tries to sort of disrupt the industry. It doesn't have to be us. I mean, for me, I would love if it's us. But honestly, as a wine lover, I would love to see the Indian wine have their own niches, have people who prefer certain styles, have people who understand that, hey, I produce 5,000 cases of red wine, and therefore you don't need to see me at every restaurant that you go to. There is a value in that. So a more diversified industry, a more niche industry, and definitely just the quality getting better and better and better.
Thanks, Karishma. Wishing Grover and all that you do a really, really fabulous future.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.